Yes, Sideways, we did it! Straight Outta CANON is a huge success, and thanks to our new team, we're getting back on our feet. Each view at a time. Oh, well, look who came crawling back!
We want to get back to the team.
I don't know, you guys need to give me a good reason to let you guys come back into the fold after you betray me for Nuclear Yeti.
Fine, you were right, we will do anything.
You know what, guys? Since I'm a good guy, I will let you guys back as my janitors.
Can we at least get our positions back later?
Yeah, sure, you guys can get back in the team once you have proven your loyalty again. What do you say, Sideways?
I think you should burn all the non-Sideways fans, and it's super commie Sideways to you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, we ended the drama of my team leaving me and us not getting as many views as we used to have, but we're getting back on our feet. We're rebuilding the team. Better, stronger, Sideways. Yes, Sideways is here. Anyways, guys, so that was a clip from beta just released called Transformers 6, The Sons of Unicron. If you guys want to check it out, links in the description down below or in the comments. But today, we have a very important thing to discuss. Megatron. Now, since day one, you guys have been begging me to talk about Megatron as to how is he in the movie. Now, I didn't want to cover this for two reasons. Number one, everyone has pretty much covered it already. And number two, I think it's pretty obvious what happened to him. But since you guys want me to explain it, I will tell you. Now, instead of going over the canon, I'm gonna discuss the real reason, not Michael Bay, not anyone in the production, the real reason why Hasbro, the company who owns the movies and everything, wants Megatron back and not Galvatron. First, I'm gonna start with the canon as to the explanation in the movies, or lack of explanation the movies gave us as to how did Galvatron turn into Megatron. Alright, so as far as the movies go, supposedly somehow Galvatron made it to Quintessa before Prime ever did. Now that's crazy considering that Optimus got a head start over Galvatron towards Quintessa. Now granted, you could say that Optimus probably didn't know where Quintessa was and Galvatron did, but the fact that Galvatron beat Optimus to Quintessa and beat him back to Earth as Megatron speaks volumes. And especially since supposedly the last night happens a couple of months after, or at least like about a year after Age of Extinction, less than a year actually. Now we do know that Galvatron at some point had to meet with Quintessa, because in order for Megatron to get the red mark, Quintessa has to like slap Megatron, I guess. It's really funny when she slapped Optimus, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm guessing that Quintessa, in order to transform Galvatron back into Megatron, Galvatron had to be like close to her, like slapping proximity, if you know what I mean. And after that, he just went back to her, he got his old crew back, the Sons of Unicron, he went on his totally radical, not Suicide Squad adventure. And they all ended up getting killed except him and Barricade. Yeah, we all know the story. So that's the, in-movie reason. But now I'm gonna explain the company in a business perspective, why Hasbro wants to keep Megatron and they don't want to keep Galvatron. To be frank, the main reason why they want Megatron and not Galvatron is because Megatron is simply more popular. Characters like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron appear in the movies because of their popularity, because they're recognizable, they're like the faces of the Transformers. It's like having Dragon Ball without Goku and Vegeta, can you imagine that? And let's say, Goku gets turned into a kid, and now he no longer calls himself Goku, now he calls himself Goten. People don't want to see that. People want to see the real Goku. People want to see the real Megatron. And that's basically it. When you Google Transformers, some of the first things you're gonna see is Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, the Autobots, Megatron. Here, you guys can see Megatron, right? Yeah, you guys can. Basically, Hasbro just wants to keep Megatron just because he's more popular, he's more marketable. A lot of people grew up with, Megatron, and that's why we love that guy so much. Megatron is one of the best villains you could ever get. Now, the movies really haven't done him any justice, but as of the last night, I would say that Megatron is like the best he has been in a while, at least in the movies. And I think Hasbro basically wanted to reboot the Transformers universe, the cinematic universe. Now, I touched this subject in a previous video, talking about if the movies were no longer canon. And if you see the film, and you see my video, well, I'm not gonna force you to go, I'm just gonna tell you a few things. The film doesn't really add up with the previous movies. I mean, there are nods to the previous movies, but some things don't make sense, like Optimus, saying that Bumblebee, your boys, or for example, Megatron being back to Galvatron for no reason, no explanation. We got Barricade still being alive. I said that maybe the writers, what they did is that they retcon a couple stuff. Now, retcons happen a lot of time. Not necessarily they create their own universe, but it could be that they retcon certain stuff. For example, we could say like Transformers Revenge of the Fallen never happened because we never see the Matrix. We see the Pyramid, but we never see the Star Harvester. We see almost no reference to Revenge of the Fallen. We see Simons from Transformers 1, and there's a lot of references to Transformers 1 and Transformers Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction, because the last night it's a continuation from Age of Extinction, so of course we're gonna see a lot from that. This makes sense, get Michael Bay to do one last movie, try to cash in, try to see how audiences react. And the last night hasn't done very well financially. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has done good in terms of, box office returns, but in comparison to the other movies, it hasn't done that great. Now, this is gonna be a topic for another time if the Transformers movies are getting old and people don't want to see them anymore. But basically, I'm thinking that Hasbro's initial intention was to reboot the universe. But then again, we just had Age of Extinction and it kinda left off, as a continuation to set up something more. And the last night had to follow on that. But then again, by the last night we had a new team of writers. They wanted to create new stories, and they couldn't do that if we already have dead characters, we already have all this development. By switching Galvatron back to Megatron, we could probably see some more development from Megatron. For example, like we could see him, I don't know, kill a few more Autobots. We could have a backstory about him. The movies haven't really been that kind to Megatron. In Dark of the Moon is the perfect example of Megatron being outright trash. And Galvatron is very popular, but I mean, come on, in comparison to Megatron, Megatron is way miles more popular and beloved than Galvatron. Not saying Galvatron's not good. I mean, there's plenty of good Galvatrons throughout the Transformers years, but Megatron will always be there. Megatron's like the guy you will always want to have in a movie. In a Transformers movie at least. So yeah, basically that's about it. That's the only reason why Hasbro wanted to turn Galvatron back into Megatron, just because he's more recognizable, more profitable. And also, in my personal opinion, they kind of wanted to do a reboot at first, but they decided, you know what, I think it will be too much trouble. Let's just end the Bay, they just end the Bay movies, and after that let's just make our own movies, from the same universe. So I personally believe that what Hasbro was trying to do was make a reboot at first, but then they figured Sony also made a reboot, and look how they ended up. Rebooting movies is a touchy thing because some people will like it and some people will not like it, because people will always compare it to the previous movies. The Amazing Spider-Man was compared to the Spider-Man trilogy. The Star Wars prequels were compared to the classic Star Wars. You see what I'm going at here? The Force Awakens is basically a reboot in disguise. I know it's set in continuity, but if you look at it, they're trying to get rid of characters, they're making some nods here and there, setting up new characters, new generation, like their own setting, basically. I think that was the main idea of the last night, to basically, end the base story, even though there wasn't that much story to begin with. The whole Quintessa thing just kind of came out of nowhere. And now that the movie's over, Hasbro's like, oh wow, look, we have Megatron, Barricade, we have all these characters left. Okay, let's see if we can make some good stories with them, let's see if, we can get some movies with those guys. Overall, Hasbro would always take like the high tier characters like Optimus, Grimlock, Bumblebee, Megatron. They will always market those characters more because they're iconic, they're more recognizable. Let me tell you this, if you had to choose between watching a Bumblebee movie and a Blue Streak movie, which one would you choose? Probably Bumblebee, because it's the character you know the most, right? And also, if you see a movie, let's say with Galvatron or Megatron, which one would you choose? Probably Megatron. Most people will choose Megatron. Also, it doesn't help the fact that, you know, Michael Bay decided to rush things and bring Megatron back out of nowhere, making more confusions. But honestly, I believe that Megatron coming back wasn't Michael Bay's call. I don't think that was also from the writers. If it was up to the writers, they would have just kept Galvatron and have him be like this menacing force in the background, slowly trying to build up to gather his army. I think that's what they should have done with him. But instead, Hasbro said, you know what guys, if we use the Megatron name, we can sell more toys. And that's what it comes to in the end. Transformers has always been about the toys. In G1, Beast Wars, Transformers Prime, the movies especially are like a big marketing towards the toys. And I'm not gonna lie, their strategy kinda works because I bought Barricade Berserker and I'm still looking for Megatron. But anyways guys, that's my opinion. I personally think that's the reason why Hasbro decided to, instead of using Galvatron in the movie, use Megatron. But if you guys have a different opinion, make sure to comment down below and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.